So hi everyone, today in this video we're gonna develop another type of solutions for another type of problem that we face in our day-to-day lives, and then obviously tools with the focus of using mental models as like the machines that produce the solutions, the sensors, the logic that you can put in practical applications so for your problem to be solved. So and then obviously it's always in a non-perspective way to see, because you're not someone that are specialized in all fields, but in the ones that you're not specialized you can use it, these type of things that helps you to produce the sense, the logic, the direction that you want to go. Now, the practical application, the technical one, has to be more developed, has to be a bit more sharpened. But then, we're gonna dive in on the global debt crisis. So what do you have? We have global debt. So 307 trillions in debt, and this corresponds to 365% of the global GDP. So as an example, the USA debt corresponds to more than 34 trillions dollars. We have obviously tagging bomb, interest payments that consume 20% of the USA budget, and 40 or plus 40 nations that have risk default. And then we have to understand the root causes of that. So the deficit spending, the aging populations, tax evasion, military bloat, and healthcare inflation. So some of the root causes that we need to dive in to understand it better. But then, with that said, what are like the mental models that create these solutions for this problem? So first, the Ponzi dynamics, unsustainable growth. What's the idea is that debt funds today by borrowing from tomorrow, but then by understanding it, what's the fix to by understanding it, we have debt to GDP triggers. For example, the New Zealand's allow how to cut spending if that is over 40% of GDP, has made surplus for 5 years. See how this tends, oh, you kind of by algorithm, it's kind of algorithm. And then if you have an algorithm that the people that they don't respect the algorithm, they all 100% they will suffer with the costs of their actions. See how this creates more more accountability when they're made. That so they tend to create long-term benefits, not like short-term benefits. That's a lot of the politics that they are about, and wrongly they are about the short term, because we have to get the benefits in long term. And we have the sovereign wealth fund surges. The Norway taxes oil gas to fund 1.4 trillion funds, may covers 20% of the annual budget. So, what are like the ways to we're not using a lot of that is a range of ways so to, or not people having incentives to have it, and it's so by established punishments and stuffs that works with the psychology of the decision makers, that shows if they kind of so accumulate that or not, and arrange other ways so to accumulate wealth. So it's purely mathematics, this type of way to see the accumulation of that, and then how to work with that. Two, the boiling frog syndrome, normalizing crisis. What's the idea? Gradual debt increases go unaddressed until too late. So what's the fix by knowing it? We have the debt clock in public squares. The real-time displays pressure lawmakers made Switzerland's debt, for example, decreased 30% since 2020. Citizen debt juries, the Ireland's panels veto wasteful spending, has made saved 9 billion a year with that initiative. So here again, see how a bit of psychology getting applied in the decision makers to them to getting not incentivized to take action that are also not helpful to accumulation of debt. Three, circular economy, that as a resource. What's the idea? Transform liabilities into investments. So what's the fix by knowing it? That's for natural swaps. Ecuador forgave 1.6 billion debt to protect the Galapagos. So ecotourism tourism revenue doubled, and infrastructure leveraged Japan debt funded bullet trains as the return of investment 22 see this as a return of investment 20% via productivity gains of this initiative of infrastructure leverage. So a bit of circular economy is important, is something that we're gonna see even more today, is the adoptance of the circular economy as a resource. So with that, we have four that fragility drive through default risk. What's the idea? Use that stress to build resilient economy. So fix perishable bonds. We have the Argentina's that expires if GDP growth hovers 5%, as made so incentives for productivity, and that to energy projects the Ukraine converts war rubble into solar farms. So the pay interests, and this pays interest via clean power. 5. A bit of Viblen goods, so luxury debt trap. What's the idea? Prestigious driven borrowing like mega yachts and vanity projects. So what's the fix by knowing it? We have the luxury debt surtaxes, the France's that taxes 15% on loans for private jets, as with that fund rural broadband, and frugality index, the Canada ranks cities on sustainable spending, as shamed Toronto into deficit cuts. 6. A bit of precautionary principle, so avoid point of no return. What's the idea? Prevent debt slavery before it's irreversible. So what's the fix by knowing this? So how to prevent? Intergenerational debt courts, the Belgium lets you sue over unsustainable policies, as concealed 30 billions in fossil subsidies. So how important is that? Normally some generations they tend to prioritize their own benefit, and obviously normally what are the ones that are the ones that you should make him more commit, because are the ones that their incentives is as well the incentive of a country to perform in the long term, not short term. And not only so are the youth. The youth are the ones and more interested in the policies that have result in long term in comparison with the more older one. So having more the incentives that these youth generations being more powerful seems to be useful, so to create a force to create sustainable policies in long term. Another initiative is the artificial intelligence that firewalls. Singapore's algorithm blocks loans if repayment risk over 55%, has made zero defaults since 2022. 7. The Jevons paradox. What's the idea? Efficiency fuels excess. So cheap borrowing tech like digital bonds enables more debt. So what's fixed by knowing it? We have the blockchain transparency. The Estonia's public ledger tracks every euro spent, made the corruption so reduced by 85%. And we have slow finance movement. The Brazil mandates 48-hour waits for sovereign bond sales, as reduced the panic borrowing. 8. Do we have the Dunbar's numbers? So tribal scale accountability. What's the idea? That decisions lack oversight beyond 150 trusted actors. So by knowing that, what's the fix by knowing this law? We have micronation experiments, the sea-stringing cities test debt-free governance as attract 50k fiscal refugees, and debt DAOs, decentralized orgs buy hold national debt, as made voters decide restructuring, as example, the Costa Rica pilots. So obviously it's difficult to adopt all the policy that you want, so you have opportunity cost, you have limitations, and then by knowing it, what you kind of wish is you so having solutions that are so the reunion of the policies of each individual type of mental model. So what are the ideas that they create, and then with that, ringing the bell. What are so the most type of developed solutions? Some of ones are already developed, and I have used the realities. I have used a lot of real world examples because people have so the attention toward this because they understand it's something that's a problem. But then what are like integration solutions are already? We have the military to green shift. The USA reallocates 10% of defense budget to solar as creates 2 million jobs and cuts energy imports. And artificial intelligence optimized tax nets, the Ghana's algorithms that ends evasion has recovered 4 billions in 2023. So why this works? We have examples: the Sweden, the Botswana, the Sweden that has cut that from 70% to 35% to GDP via surplus targets, as Sweden with the hey credit rating, and the Botswana Diamond Revenue Trust Fund has made zero national debt and Africa's highest credit rating. And obviously this is the right as the right, so everyone in that production boosts GDP by 1.5 long term. So obviously something benefit to it's a benefit to work in that. I hope that you have liked the video. I hope it was enough to subscribe. And without much more to say, just thank you and I hope to see you in next one.